Is it me, or are Christians just so back right now? I just feel like 2024, Christians are roaring. That's how it feels, at least to me. And there's no greater indication of that than last night. The Celtics won the NBA championship, in case you missed it. But I think the real story is the head coach, Joe Mazzulla. We talked about him on the show a few times. He walked around the court praying the rosary before the game. Unbelievable. I mean, when have you ever heard of a coach doing that before a championship game? And here's a photo of him right after they won. If you can't see it because you're listening on Spotify or Apple, his shirt reads, "But first, let me thank God." Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. First thing I want to talk about before that, however, is it really seems like the media is trying to slow walk us into World War III, which has me thinking a lot about World War II, because I'm feeling like there were a lot of lies, at least a lot of propaganda, and we should discuss it. And if you need more proof of that, look no further than the bizarre public defense that people make regarding dropping atomic bombs. Yes, incinerating hundreds of thousands of human beings, and people will defend it just like that. Recently, Tucker appeared on Joe Rogan. I've been showing clips of that. It was a phenomenal conversation. You should go pursue it in its entirety. But he begins talking about dropping atom bombs and says something that I think is quite sensible. Take a listen.
On the right, have spent the last 80 years defending dropping nuclear weapons on civilians. Like, are you joking?
Right.
That's just like prima facie evil.
Yeah.
If you can't, if we hadn't done that, then this, that, the other thing, that was actually a great savings. Like, no, it's wrong to drop nuclear weapons on people. And if you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil. Like, it's not a tough one, right? It's not a hard call for you. It's not a hard call for me.
Yeah, I fully agree with his statement. If you find yourself defending dropping nuclear bombs on innocent civilians, you are not on the side of goodness. Obviously, you're not on the side. Here's a reality. We have been buried in the belief that we had to join the war because we had to free the Jews from concentration camps. And yet, what is not told to us is that we also then allowed Stalin to continue those concentration camps. We locked arms with a villain to take down a villain. We allowed Stalin to continue the mass murder of Christians, which had been going on for a long time, obviously. The Bolshevik Revolution, which took place before he was in power, right? What happened under Lenin? The massacre of Christians, the creation of concentration camps, the Gulag system. Just Christians being mass drowned in barges. So if this was about preventing an ethnic cleansing, if that really is the story of World War II that we are taught in our classrooms, we had to prevent this ethnic cleansing, which in my view, by the way, is always an admirable goal. Why were we never taught that the good guys, being us, then committed an ethnic cleansing immediately thereafter? Why were we not taught that we allowed collective guilt to be assigned to people who simply spoke German, had nothing to do with Adolf Hitler, did not vote for Adolf Hitler? Yeah, I learned that recently watching a BBC documentary, as it was casually brought up to me by a priest in London. He said Americans don't know anything. It's you guys are just so severely pro. Well, the answer for that, in my opinion, is because they're trying to slow walk us into World War III. They're becoming insane, unhinged, trying to defend the narrative of World War II. Don't ask any questions. We did nothing wrong. Dropping nukes is okay. And there's probably maybe no person more unhinged than Lindsey Graham on that topic. Listen to what he had to say.
So when we were faced with destruction as a nation after Pearl Harbor, fighting the Germans and the Japanese, we decided to end the war by bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with nuclear weapons. That was the right decision. Give Israel the bombs they need to end the war they can't afford to lose and work with them to minimize casualties. Why is it okay for America to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end their existential threat war? Why was it okay for us to do that? I thought it was okay. To Israel, do whatever you have to do to survive as a Jewish state.
There you have it.